Welcome everyone to another tutorial from Latoya's Online Academy. Today we're going to be looking at solving quadratic equations by factorization. The general form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, okay? Where a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. Now we must be able to recognize what a is, what b is, and what c is in a quadratic equation. So for example, in this quadratic equation, x squared plus 7x plus 10, I must be able to recognize what a is. Now a is the coefficient, a is the term in front of x squared. Now what is understood in front of x squared here? 1. So therefore a is 1 and positive 1. What is going to be b? B is the coefficient of x, so b is going to be 7. That is positive 7. What is going to be c? C is going to be 10. Now let's look at another example. If I have minus 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0, which is another quadratic equation, what is going to be a? A is going to be the term in front of x squared, so a is going to be minus 4. What is going to be b? B is the term in front of x, so b is going to be minus 4 as well. And then what is going to be c? C is going to be positive 1. X squared plus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. Now when we are factorizing quadratic equations, we're going to express our answers as a product of two binomials. Simply put, we're going to put our answers, express our answers in two brackets. Okay, what is going to give us x squared? X multiplied by x. The next thing we need to ask ourselves is what's going to give us 10. Now what is 10? 10 is c, yes? Remember, the term in front of x squared is a, the term in front of x is b, and the last term here is the constant term c. Alright, so we need to ask ourselves what two numbers when multiplied will give me c? What two numbers when multiplied will give me 10? Okay, and these two numbers, when it is added or subtracted, will give me b, which is 7. So we have to ask ourselves again, what two numbers when multiplied will give me c? Now we have quite a few options. Let's write it here. 10 by 1 is going to give me 10. But could I add or subtract 10 and 1 to give me 7? No. Let's try 5 and 2. 5 2s are 10, okay, and I can add 5 and 2 to give me positive 7. Alright, so this is what we're going to use. We're going to use 5, we're going to use 2. Now the question is, how do I figure out what signs to put in these brackets? How do I know if to put a negative sign in the brackets? How do I know if to put a positive sign in the brackets? This is what we're going to use. Now this is a very short, nice technique. We're going to cross multiply. Alright, let me show you how it's done. We're going to say x by 2 is going to give me 2x, and 5 by x, or x by 5 is going to give me 5x. So after cross multiplying, what I'm going to do is to ask myself, what can I do to 2x and 5x to give me positive 7x? The only thing that I can do here is add. So I have a positive 2 and a positive 5. So therefore, that's what I'm going to put into my brackets. So I'm going to write positive 2, positive sign here, and a positive sign here. Alright? Now this is an equation, so we are required to solve. So which means that we need to equal both brackets to 0. How do I do that? I'm going to write x plus 5 is equal to 0, and I'm going to solve for x. Leave everything that is x on one side, take everything that is not on the other side. So here I'm getting x is equal to minus 5. Let's work out the next bracket. I'm getting x plus 2 is equal to 0. Leave everything that is x on one side and take everything that is not on the other side. So I'm getting x to be minus 5 and x to be minus 2. Let's do another example. I have x squared minus 13x minus 30 is equal to 0. So I'm going to draw my two brackets. I'm going to work out my first term. What's going to give me x squared? X multiplied by x. Now I'm going to ask myself, what is going to give me minus 30? Right? What two numbers when multiplied together will give me minus 30? And then when added or subtracted is going to give me minus 13. Now let's write down the different options. What can I multiply to get 30? I can multiply 30 by 1. But could I add or subtract 30 and 1 to get 13? No, I cannot. Good. So I'm going to try 10 multiply by 3. So 10 and 3 is going to give me 30. Yes? So I'm going to use 10 and 3. Good. How am I going to be sure of what signs to use in my brackets? As I showed you before, we're going to cross multiply. Okay, we're going to say x by 3 or 3 by x. That's going to give me 3x. I'm going to say 10 by x, so x by 10, and that's going to give me 10x. Now, what can I do here to get minus 13x? What am I going to do? Alright, so if I put an addition sign here, I'm going to get positive 13. And we don't want positive 13, but we want negative 13. So what do I need to do? I need to use minus signs. So I'm going to write, it's going to be minus 3x minus 10x is going to give me minus 13x. Okay, so now I'm sure I must have minus 3 and minus 10. Again, this is an equation. It's equal to 0, so it's going to require us to solve. We need to put the terms that are in brackets. We need to equal them to 0 and solve. So my first bracket, I have x minus 10 is equal to 0. I need to solve. Leave everything that is x on one side. Take everything that is not on the other side. I'm getting positive 10. Next bracket, I have x minus 3 is equal to 0. Leave everything that is x on one side and take everything that is not on the other side. I'm getting x is going to be equal to positive 3. Now this one is our challenge question. Here we have 2x squared minus 17x plus 21. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw my brackets. Then I'm going to ask myself the question, what's going to give me 2x squared? 2x by x. Okay, now what's going to give me 21? 3 by 7 or 7 by 3. Well, let's say you wrote, I thought of 3 by 7 first, but let's say you thought of 7 by 3. Let's use these numbers. 7 by 3. Let's see. What we're going to do, we're going to cross multiply. Yes? So it's going to be 2x by 3. That's going to give me 6x. And 7 by x, that's going to give me 7x. Now, could I add or subtract 6 and 7 to give me 17x? No. So the way that I have it, it's not working. Alright? So let's switch things around. Let's put 3 first. And then 7. And let's see what happens. Let's cross multiply again. 2x by 7 is going to give me 14x. And then 3 by x is going to give me 3x. Yes, so these numbers are going to give me 17. But what signs am I going to use? What's going to give me minus 17x? Minus 14x and minus 3x. So this means in my two brackets, I'm going to have negative signs. Alright? The next thing we have to do is solve. So we're going to write 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. We're going to solve. Leave everything that is x on one side. Take everything that is not on the other side. This negative 3 becomes positive 3. I want to solve for x, but I have this 2 here that is multiplied to this x. So what do? I divide by the 2. Yes, so here I'm getting x is equal to 3 over 2. And if I reduce this any further, it's going to be 2 into 3 is 1 with a remainder of 1 over 2, 1.5. Yes, next bracket, I'm going to have x minus 7 is equal to 0. Leave everything that is x on one side and take everything that is not on the other side. X is equal to positive 7. So here I'm getting x is equal to 1.5 and x is equal to 7. Thanks everyone for watching, and be sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Bye!